Life has many stories. Here's one that might just change how you see yours. I came across this tweet the other day. A newlywed man sharing his joy. How it took a little convincing, but eventually his wife, formerly Christian, converted to Islam after marriage. A simple, personal story, right? Wrong. Because I made the mistake of opening the comments. And there it was, one reply, with hundreds of likes. Denouncing Christ for a man is diabolical. That's the line that stuck with me. Not because I agreed with it, but because it's the default tone of how people now engage with not only love across religious lines, but anything out of their original religious box. And that's where I think we've lost the plot. Before you scream blasphemy, just hear me out. I think that comment, and the many of its kind, are rooted in dogmatic thinking. And that's dangerous for our harmonious existence as humanity. Stories like this one should spark intrigue and fascination. I mean, with all their significant differences in background, upbringing, and experiences, how did they find the compromise to want to be together? How did their respective families first receive the news? And how did these two manage to stand their resolve? Because trust me, like the online folks, there would be those relatives who would quote scriptures to predict how the marriage won't last. So, with the system already against them, how ready are they to defy the odds and make the marriage work? I mean, these were the sort of questions that came to mind when I saw their post. So imagine my disappointment seeing people online quick to declare what counts as sin, but slow to ask, "Are you okay?" And that's not just unkind. That's unspiritual. Because at the heart of every faith is the call to love, not the desire to win debates. I have a few issues. We've become so obsessed with being right, so much that we easily forget how to be human. We're plagued by the fear of being wrong so much that we'd rather exist and see out our time than live and create meaningful impact like the very religious role models we admire from ancient times. We're so deep into arguing whose doctrine is true that we've lost sight of what those doctrines were meant to build in us. Compassion, forgiveness, humility, and yes, love. And the irony? We do it all in God's name. We've gotten to a place where someone is celebrated for choosing suffering, staying in a toxic marriage, because God hates divorce. But someone else, who chooses healing through love, is mocked for abandoning faith. Love is never a threat to faith. Let's walk this carefully. If someone changes religion because of love like this lady had done, we call them weak. We say, it was just for a man, just for a woman. There even are those who genuinely believe she was able to convert because she was nothing more than just a simple churchgoer. Anything to convince themselves that they who would probably not have done so are in the right. But do we ever pause to consider, maybe it wasn't for them. Maybe it was through them. Maybe the love was the doorway, not the reason. Maybe it wasn't about abandoning belief, but about expanding it. Maybe it wasn't about denouncing Christ, but living out his mandate of love and sacrifice. Maybe they saw something in the life of their partner, their values, their peace, their conviction, that made them want to understand more. And maybe, just maybe, that led them to something they've been missing all along. Here's the thing. Love doesn't replace faith. It reveals whether your faith has room for others. If love makes you rethink your beliefs, then maybe your belief was only a habit to begin with. That lady didn't rethink her beliefs with the conversion. She embraced values that aligned her beliefs. You know, in all this, I feel we're taking Earth too lightly. You were placed here, for a time like this, not just to recite creeds, but to live deeply. To live, not just wait for heaven. To walk alongside people. To learn from them. To love. To lose. To grow. To do justice. Love mercy. And walk humbly. But when you think the only thing that matters is how well you defend doctrine, you forget that even Jesus, Muhammad, and all the great prophets lived among people. They wept. They touched. They healed. They didn't hide behind religion. They embodied it. Yet here we are, ignoring the poor while calling people not proper Christian for marrying across faith. Arguing over whose scripture is more correct while we fail the test of kindness daily. It's not religion that's the problem. It's how we've made it performative. How we let it dictate us while silencing the very human parts of us it was designed to nurture. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine this. A woman is raised Christian. She's devout, kind, and committed to her values. She meets a Muslim man, disciplined, prayerful, grounded. He doesn't try to convert her. He simply lives his truth. She observes. She's curious. Not because she's weak or because she's easily swayed, but because something in his peace, in how he treated others, in how he worshiped quietly and consistently, moved her. Over time, she chooses to convert, not to please him, but because something inside her aligned. And yet, to outsiders, the headline reads, "She changed for a man." We reduce her growth into gossip. Now flip it. A Muslim woman marries a Christian man. They don't force faith on each other. They raise kids in love. The kids grow up seeing Ramadan and Easter. They understand both books, and they learn that peace doesn't have to come in one color. Tell me, what part of that is diabolical? This isn't about changing beliefs. It's about changing behavior. Let's be honest. What use is the name of your religion if it doesn't show up in how you live? I've met Christians who are the most judgmental people you'll ever encounter. Muslims who lie. Atheists who give more than any believer I've known. Buddhists who hold grudges. The list goes on. Your label doesn't save you. Your actions do. Your faith isn't proven by quoting scriptures. It's proven by how much grace you extend when someone wrongs you. By how kind you are when it's inconvenient. By how honest you are when no one's watching. Changing your religion doesn't automatically make you better. But refusing to change how you live, that's the real betrayal. If we're being real, some of us are just afraid. This is the part many won't admit. We call it principle. We say, "I'm just protecting the faith." But deep down, what we're really protecting is comfort. The idea that love can challenge belief is scary. It means you might have to let go of certainty. It means your rigid views might be outdated. It means you might be wrong. But here's the thing. If your belief system can't handle being questioned, it's not sacred. It's fragile. If love makes it wobble, maybe it was already shaking. You should always remember that love was never the opponent. We're out here surviving inflation, war, injustice, division. People are drowning in loneliness, addiction, self-doubt. And the thing that still makes life worth living, the thing that softens the edges of the human experience, is love. Pure, patient, selfless love. So why do we treat it like an enemy? Love was never the problem. The problem is how we've turned our convictions into chains. The problem is how we've learned to choose rules over people. How we weaponize faith instead of wear it with humility. If someone walks away from their faith and becomes cruel, worry. But if someone walks into love and becomes more gentle, more selfless, more alive, maybe they didn't lose their way. Maybe they finally found it. And if I can leave you with one thing, it's not a betrayal to walk with someone in love. What's a betrayal is forgetting how to love at all.